Hello everyone, it's Events Body again with a new video. Sorry about not doing a lot of videos these days. It's been crazy, as you know, lockdowns and all. So I'm here to do another video, hopefully discuss how I actually try to maintain as much muscle as possible during the lockdown, but also scientifically how you can actually maintain and build muscle with lower lower loads and less equipment and everything else like most of us have these days. So let's touch base on that. Again, as I said, apologies for not returning your answering your questions and everything else, but I'm here, I'm back, and hopefully I stay back. I will try to do a new video every week. I've got 3 videos in planned already, so hopefully let's do that. So first of all, how did this lockdown affect my training? I didn't have any equipment to start off with, and the last day before the lockdown hit, one of my friends said, look, you better go to this place and buy some equipment, buy some dumbbells. And I said, yeah, I'm just gonna buy some dumbbells. So I bought 10 kilos, I bought 22.5, and I bought 25 kilos. So that was it. Okay, for a guy that's 100 kilos, that weight used to be my warm-up in the gym. So as you can imagine, I was like stressing out, going, oh man, how am I going to do this with this low load? But again, I had previous knowledge and I had my knowledge of how to actually do this. So I was kind of like, okay, yeah, scientifically it works, but would it work on me? I didn't know, but it did work. So that's pretty much I had 3 pairs of dumbbells. I have my BR5 bands, as you can see here. I had my glute band to stabilize and increase my strength in my lower limb, and I have like a little like a gymnastic mat that I can actually use to support my head or to support my back when I'm doing like the dumbbell press and everything else. So that's all I have, and some good music, obviously. So how can you maintain muscle and grow muscle with low loads? Okay, a lot of people will be like, whoa, how am I going to do this? It's not going to happen. But good news, scientifically and anecdotally, you can actually grow muscle on only 30% of 1 RM. So imagine your 1 repetition max. We've been taught before, okay, that you need about 80% and above, 80 to 90% or even 70 to 90% of 1 RM to stimulate hypertrophy, to stimulate muscle growth. Not true. We can actually stimulate muscle hypertrophy with even 30% of 1 RM. So it's a lighter load. However, anything less than 30% is not ideal for muscle growth. So if we're looking at the higher repetition range and you're still increasing your muscle size, and you can still increase strength. So don't be disheartened if you don't have a lot of heavy weights. Increase those repetitions, increase the volume, and you're going to grow. Okay, we're going to go into the 3 steps on how you're going to maintain that muscle mass and how you're going to grow. Okay, and again, as I said, scientifically, anecdotally. Okay, 2 ways. So 3 steps. I've talked about this in my other videos. I've talked about the cellular swelling before. I've talked about mechanical stress, and I've talked about lactic acid. They're very, very important things that we need to consider, not just in lockdown, not just with less equipment, but also when gyms open up. And some of you, in some other countries, have those gyms opened up. So congratulations, you're lucky. But in Australia, we still don't have anything like that. So home workouts it is. So let's talk about it. Step 1, cellular swelling. I talked about this before. Sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, real deal. Okay, increases the muscle cell, in layman's terms, getting the pump. So you need to get the pump to stimulate muscle growth. Okay, get that good pump happening. Okay, and I'm not saying that you need it, but it's a good way to do it. Okay, and especially with lower loads, you want to get that pump. Okay, how we're going to achieve that pump? Okay, well, obviously supplements. Citrulline. I've talked about citrulline before. Citrulline malate, arginine, you can do that, okay? Carbohydrates, so lollies before training, okay? Short rest intervals, high repetition, muscle-mind connection, BFR bands, okay? We want to create as much blood into the muscle as possible. So that's cellular swelling. Supplementation, carbohydrate intake, like lollies, you know, quick carbs, volume of training, repetition range, and BFR bands. And I'm not here to sell you BFR bands, and I'm going to talk about BFR bands in my other video, but you will notice why I'm talking about this. And why am I talking about BFR bands? Is that in the case of cellular swelling, okay, we don't even have to have 30% of 1 RM. BFR bands have been found that you can actually achieve muscle hypertrophy with even 20% of 1 RM. 20%. That is insane, okay? Whereas without BFR bands, you need 30 and above. And to tell you the truth, I would always opt for higher than 30. I would opt for 40, 50% of 1 RM. If I don't have the loads that I can do for 70% of 1 RM or 80. But with 30% you can actually grow. But with BFR bands you can actually grow with 20%. It's crazy, okay? So we're looking at the high reps range, okay? And we're looking at getting that pump, okay? So that's a cellular swelling, utilizing all those things above. Second thing, lactic acid buildup. A lot of people think that lactic acid is bad, okay? Lactic acid buildup triggers testosterone production and triggers GH. So lactic acid buildup equals increased testosterone. So this is how we are actually increasing that, and it will help you in the long run getting that muscle mass. How we're going to achieve lactic acid buildup? Short rest intervals. Okay, reach that threshold with short rest intervals. Higher rep range. Again, BFR bands. I'm not here to sell it again. You can buy them online, whatever. And 3, mechanical stress. How we're going to achieve mechanical stress? We need to ensure that the load is heavy enough for the muscle to increase that tension. So the muscle needs to be under sort of tension that you feel it, that you struggle with. With low loads, you're gonna find it hard to get that muscle tension if you're doing just a simple set of 10 reps. Okay, it's not gonna happen. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to create angles that will stimulate muscle even harder. So for example, I'm just giving you an example here. Let's say I'm doing a dumbbell chest press. Okay, what I might do is I might invert my hands as I create that contraction to create more muscle tension on the upper pec, for example. Just an example here. Okay, create angles, create stress, supersets, drop sets, anything that's going to create that tension, that you're going to feel the muscle burn, that you're going to feel that tension, and you're going to be like, oh my god, that was a mad set. Simple as that. So 3 things that we need. We need cellular swelling, we need lactic acid buildup, and we need mechanical stress. Like I said, mechanical stress, load has to be enough to create tension. Now BFR bands, changing on the angles, repetition range can all provide that the mechanical stress for your body, for your muscle. Okay, so usually what you can do is split your body part into 2 to 3 times a week. Okay, very simple. You know this probably by now. You're hitting 2 to 3 times through the front 3 times a week. You can even do it every day if you're doing, let's say, a lockdown. If you don't have a lot of equipment, you can do it every day. I would suggest getting that rest in between. So really you want to look at that 2 to 3 times a week, so you can rest that body part for the next session. And you're looking at about 15 to 20 sets per body part. So if I'm doing chest, I should be doing about 15 to 20 sets in a week. So whether it's going to be during the two times or 3 times a week, I'll just split that to make up the 15 to 20 sets. Truthfully saying, sometimes it's very, very hard to achieve those 20 or 15. So for example, I'm just going to give you an example for my shoulders. This last week, I managed to do maybe 12. Yes, I did 12 sets in total. Okay, it was crazy. I created a lot of muscle tension. The pump was insane. It was just great. Okay, but I couldn't manage to do the 20 sets. So again, give or take, everyone's different. Everyone can grow on different rep ranges and sets. But scientifically saying and anecdotally saying, 15 to 20 sets per body part. And like I said, loads from 31 RM to above, or with BFR bands, you can actually achieve it with 20% 1 RM. Talking about other things besides supplements, a lot of people would be like, okay, should I take anabolic steroids in this lockdown? Because anabolic steroids would make, create that environment where my muscle will be, spared from being eaten alive by not doing a lot, or maybe, people feel like they're not going to be able to, exercise a lot, or they don't have a lot of tension on the muscle and everything else. And obviously anabolic steroids, testosterone, for example, will allow you to maintain that muscle without creating a lot of work. I would advise anyone that has never taken anabolic steroids not to take them. Okay, you've seen my other videos. If you watched it, they can be addictive, and not in terms of like, you got the shakes and everything, but they create an environment where you feel on top of the world, and without them, you don't feel the same. Pretty much, you will always want to be on it. So if you've got the strong mental capacity to get off and stay off, fair enough, but you got to look at the side effects. And in my other videos, I'm going to talk about the heart problems and the liver problems and the kidney problems that can cause from long-term anabolic use, but we're not going to get into that right now. Hypothetically speaking, yes, anabolic steroid will be able to maintain that muscle mass. So those of you who are blasting and cruising, and some of you are obviously doing that, low dose of anabolic steroids like testosterone, maybe 1 ml a week, will be great for you to maintain muscle mass. Those of you who are cycling, you're going to have to decide whether or not you want to use that time to cycle during the lockdown and then come off, or you want to wait till the gyms are open so you can start a proper cycle. Again, I'm not advocating for anabolic use, but I'm just giving you some examples, and you can ask me those questions, write them down below, and we're going to discuss that more in details. But like I said, I'm not advocating for that. And those of you who are not, you have never taken it before, I suggest don't take them. Okay, stay away. Okay, SARMs are a great way to actually minimize the harm. So if you are going to do something, SARMs like LDG or LGD403, sorry, LGD4033, or secretagogue, MK677, other SARMs, you can use that to minimize the harm that anabolic steroids will give. But again, anabolic steroids will give you things that SARMs may not be able to. Hypothetically, if I was to take it, and I can't say that I am or I'm not, but if hypothetically, if it was me, I would take a testosterone replacement therapy. I'm in my 40s, and men at my age will have hard time, getting the muscle back if they lose it. Okay, the younger you are, the easier it is to do that. The harder it is when you get older. So anyone that's over 40 should get a test level checked and see if you can actually, get it prescribed by a doctor, So hypothetically, yes, I would be on TRT, but that's me, okay? Anyway, thank you very much for watching. What I'll do is I'll provide you with more videos, and I'm hoping to do it every week. In my next video, we'll talk about more about BFR bands and scientific proof about BFR bands and more scientific studies and a few slides. And then we're going to talk about the other problems that males may have, like sexual dysfunction, erectile dysfunction, and all that, which are sensitive subjects, which I decided that I want to talk about, especially with guys with anabolic steroid use. Okay, some of you may experience these problems, okay, with anabolic use, and you're afraid to talk about it. You're afraid that it's going to cause dramas with your relationships and everything else. So we're going to openly discuss those things. Okay, I'm here to help you guys. I'm here to share my experiences with you, and I'm here to provide as much scientific education as I can, and also anecdotal evidence as I can. So I put practice, theory into practice, and see how we go. Other than that, it's getting really dark and my light is not on, but thank you very much for watching. Subscribe if you want to subscribe, and I will try to answer all your questions as much as I can. Sorry about not being sorry for not being here for a very long time, but I'll see you guys soon. Thank you very much.